Hey, my name's Ryan. I am a pastor in Austin, Texas, and a father of a 10-month-old little girl. And in my copious free time, I make videos on the internet that nobody watches. In this video, I would like to talk about cancel culture. And particularly as a pastor, I want to defend it. I want to tell you why I think cancel culture is actually a really good thing. So to start with, let's do some definitions of cancel culture, because I think a lot of people, we get our media either from the right or from the left. For most people, by the way, our identity is more defined by politics than by Jesus Christ, and that's a big problem. But for those of us that are against cancel culture, we tend to define it as like almost a by definition bad thing, right? Like it's not cancel culture unless it's bad. Cancel culture means canceling people that I don't want to be canceled. And so let's be fair. Let's get a kind of more precise, rigorous definition. By cancel culture, the thing that I think is good is the increasing tendency, the increasing number of individuals who are learning to behave in such a way as to hold public figures financially accountable for undesirable actions, right? So for instance, I'm an individual, and if there is an actor who says something I don't like, I can stop watching his movies. If there is a author who uses the money from the sale of their books, even if I like the books, uses the money from the sale of their books to give to a cause which I believe is unjust, I can stop buying their books. And cancel culture is the fact that, is my interpretation, the fact that increasing numbers of people are becoming aware of this. Increasing numbers of people are saying, hey, if I don't like the money, the way that author spends their money, I don't have to give them any more money. Now, I am not saying, when I say I think cancel culture is a good thing, and I do, I'm not saying that I think every single application of cancel culture or every person who has ever been held financially accountable for their actions has been held financially accountable rightly or justly. I think some people have been held financially accountable for doing brave things that I agree with, that the public didn't agree with, and so they lost some money out of that deal. I think other times the public has overreacted and held people more financially accountable than maybe was in the best interest of everybody, right? Like I think James Gunn is a good example of that latter group. James Gunn said some things that are authentically bad, nasty, offensive, jokes about like being in favor of rape. Don't be in favor of rape. Being in favor of rape is bad. James Gunn said he was many years ago, and that was his style of humor many years ago. He apologized for it. He said that was wrong. It came to light, and even though he's not doing anything like that anymore, he was fired from a series of movies that he's like very good at making that have nothing to do with being in favor of rape. And I think the public really missed out on that by like firing him, and he was hired back. But I think it's a good thing that he was hired back. I think it's a good thing that like he wasn't permanently canceled, or else Guardians of the Galaxy 3 wouldn't have been as good as it's going to get to be now that the guy who like made the series made it, even though that guy made mistakes in the past. So when I say cancel culture is good, I don't really mean that everybody who ever got canceled deserves it. What I do mean is that I think it's good that we live in a society that is waking up to the fact that we get to choose how we spend our money. I think it's good, even though there are going to be some people who are going to be held more accountable for their actions than maybe I personally think is fair. I think it's good that the market is factoring morals into its decision-making process. I think it's good that individuals, as agents of the free market, are allowed to make decisions of how they spend their money, and they're allowed to make those decisions on whatever basis they want to make those decisions, including a moral basis. I think those are signs of society getting better. I think those are signs of an economy getting more mature. And I think using those levers, using the fact that if there are two yogurt companies and one of them is good for the planet and one of them is bad for the planet, and people know that they're allowed to buy the yogurt that's better for the planet, and they have a tendency to want to do that, can actually be really, really, really good for the world. I don't know if you've noticed, but it's really hard to change the world. I worked with college students for many years of my life, and college students all want to make a difference. They all want to end sex trafficking and stop climate change and save the rivers and the whales, and it's hard. And oftentimes when they go to organizations and they say, how can I help? Those organizations say, raise money for us so that we can tell more people to raise money for us. And it's just hard. It's just, but I want to make a difference. I want to end poverty in my community. How do I do it? You can raise awareness about poverty in your community. Okay, I'm aware of it. Now what? Well, I think that the most important thing that we can do, one of the biggest ways in this society, in the United States of America, that we can impact the world is by starting to think more intelligently about our dollars. Jesus speaks a ton about how we use our money, and every dollar you spend is a vote for the kind of world you want. And if you think about that, and you ask the question, where would Jesus put this dollar? If you ask the question, would Jesus go see that movie? Does Jesus want more movies like that being made or fewer movies like that being made? Does Jesus want more books like that being written or fewer books like that being written? Or more books from authors like that or fewer books from authors like that? And you start to think in those terms, you realize that you're not just a consumer. Your lot in life is not just to eat and mindlessly buy and consume and work and buy more, but instead you're a patron. You're a boss. You're in charge. You're like a patron of the arts. Back in the old days, a patron of the arts was someone who paid for a play to be put on. And they'd say, I believe in the arts. I think the arts are important. So I'm going to pay all the actors and they're going to put on a play. And then everybody goes and sees the play for free. Nowadays, we've worked out a model where we all get to be patrons. And so if you want to see the play, you can pay a small amount and everybody else can pay a small amount. And altogether, everybody who sees the play is a patron. If you don't want the play to happen, or you don't want any plays to happen in your community, then all you got to do is not see any plays. And over time, in large groups, if enough people don't see any plays, there won't be any more plays in your community. Meanwhile, if you've got $1 to spend and you want to buy a saw, it's up to you. You can choose to buy it from the local hardware store where the hours are kooky and sometimes Ned, who owns the store, takes a nap in the middle of the day. But once you get the store, you know Ned's going to stay by it and you've got that saw for life and you feel good about the friendly shop experience. Or you can get that saw from Walmart and Walmart will be open 24 hours and you know they've got the saw in stock and it's convenient. And that's your decision. What kind of world do you want? Do you want a world with more stores like Ned's or a world with more stores like Walmart? I sometimes shop at Walmart. I sometimes want the convenience of Walmart. I'm voting with that dollar for that convenience. Other times, I give my money away to poor people. I'm voting with my dollar for their humanity, for their dignity, for their right to exist. That's patronage, and that's where we're on our way to with cancel culture. The more people wake up to the fact that if I don't like something, I don't have to give that person any more of my money, and other people don't have to give that person any more of their money. And over time, people who say things that people don't like get less of people's money. That's good. Let's sign up for that. Let's do more of that. My name's Ryan. This has been Ask the Pastor. Bye.